So our next speaker is Anka Grzywacz. And Anka Grzywacz, she loves sex. And she loves to talk about it. She loves to talk about it so much that she made it into her career. In her home country, Poland, she used to host a popular live radio show called The Good Sex. And in her private coaching practice, she helps women, men, and couples to solve sex problems, have a joyful, intimate life, and nurture love in a relationship. So, do you want to hear more? Anka, let's talk about sex.
Thank you. When someone asks me what I do, I tell them that I ask people questions, private questions, sometimes even very private questions. So I wouldn't be myself if I were not to start by asking you one slightly private question. What is your favorite TV show? Okay, now comes the hard part. And you don't have to say it out loud. Imagine, you have been working so hard all day, at home, if you are a homemaker, or at your paid job. Which one do you choose at the end of a hard day? Sex, or lying on the couch, chilling and watching another episode of, let's say, the Game of Thrones? I don't know what your answer is, but believe me, more and more people these days are choosing the second option. We are facing a silent epidemic. It's called sexless relationships. My teacher and mentor, Dr. Patty Britton, who has been counseling couples for over 35 years, says that lack of sex in long-term relationships is the #1 reason why couples come to seek her advice. People are not having sex. And I'm not just talking about couples who have been together for 50 years. I'm talking about young, busy couples in their 30s and 40s. Do you want to know what the paradox here is? The sex industry is booming. Take an example of a niche market called virtual reality pornography. You wear the goggles and you are in the middle of a sex scene. You can just reach out with your hands and touch. So this market is expected to hit $1 billion in revenues by 2025. It kind of got me thinking, why are we spending so much money to watch sex and at the same time turn our backs at the person lying next to us in our bed at night? And I think I've come up with a possible explanation. Pornography, pop culture, and the media have led us to believe that sex has to be perfect every single time. You have to do it for hours. You have to have 5 orgasms and practice all those acrobatic positions. It's kind of a hard act to follow, right? It leaves us paralyzed. So instead, we lie on the couch and watch an episode of The Walking Dead. But I wouldn't be myself if I were to leave you with those sad conclusions. The very reason I became a sexologist is that I believe in sex there is always hope. So I have a simple solution for you. Good enough sex. Good enough sex, you may be thinking, what is this woman talking about? It sounds so boring. You know what? You are right. But only partly right. Just like in everyday life, our everyday sex can be boring sometimes, repetitive, uneventful, but it still has one major benefit. It keeps our sexual energy flowing, and sexual energy is our life force. It makes us do our best at work, at home, and be happy. So what exactly is this good enough sex? Let me explain to you by asking you 2 more questions. I said I'm a questions asker. Would you rather have quickie sex twice a week or long sex but only twice a year? Second question. Would you rather have 1 orgasm a week from intercourse with your partner or 5 orgasms a week, 4 of which you would give yourself in the act of self-love? See where I'm going with this? Good enough sex is about doing it, not just waiting for it to happen. It is about nurturing love in our relationship and maintaining the flow of our sexual energy. In good enough sex, we don't expect fireworks every single time. We make the best out of what we got. We use our sense of humor, and we take it easy. This is a picture from my wedding, by the way. So I want to leave you with a home assignment, as any proper sex coach would. Go home and have good enough sex. Alone, with a partner, or both. Whatever works. Have a good night.